Welcome back. In this video, we will learn some basics of surfacing and we will learn an overall process how surfacing workbench works. So best way to learn the basics of surfacing is like to get to know the common commands which are used every time whenever we are designing a product. So let's take an example of mouse, and we are going to create a mouse in this video. Let's get the basic dimensions of mouse, which is length, width, and height. These dimension I'm taking from a ballpark figure of a real mouse, and right now when I'm going through this, when I'm creating this video, I'm actually looking at a mouse and I'm trying to create the same thing in my part. So this will be the width and the length of the mouse. Let's get a ballpark figure for the height of the mouse. So the mouse that I'm creating, it is symmetric around the center plane, so it will be little easy. I don't want my sketches to take reference from outside. That is the reason why I am hiding access system and the other sketches. So this is a ballpark volume, and the mouse that we are going to create, it will have these dimensions. So the mouse that we get in the end, it will fit into this three squares. So if we measure this height, so the height is going to be 35, the length is going to be 110, and the width we are going to consider 60. So we are going to have this volume for our mouse reserved. So let's start. First of all, I need to create the overall profile of the mouse from top. It is just for reference. So we are going to put it in this reference geometrical set only. I'll rename it to references. And let's create the uh, basic profile of a mouse from top. So this is a ballpark figure from top. So we need to create whatever we are going to create, we will create within this. We could extend a little outside this boundary. It will help when we are splitting or trimming the surfaces. So let's take a circle. I want this circle, center of this circle to be coincided with the center line, the center plane, we can say. And let's give some dimension, say 200, sorry, 200 millimeters. And I want it to be tangent with this edge. So we'll take a reference. Okay. And now we can hide the background. We want it to be tangent and we will make it into a reference feature. And we will have two more reference lines which will help me identify the edges. So one is this one. So this helps me identify the boundary for my mouse. Now let's increase this size a little more, or say we make it 250. Yeah, this looks better. And I really don't need the complete circle, so I will create another reference line. I will give some dimensions to it, say 10, and I will trim away what I don't need. So we have this curve with us, which is having a diameter of 250. We can actually change it to radius. Let's do that. So the radius is, let's make it 130. So 130 is the radius, and this is our one profile curve. Okay, I'll insert a new geometrical set. In this, we can rename it, saying working geometry. And I want this sketch to be inside this geometrical set. I'll define it so that whatever I'm going to create will go inside this working geometrical set only. Uh, Now on the back side, I need uh, another profile like I have for the front. I need one more profile for the back side. So it is better to create all the profiles in separate sketches because you want to work with one curve at a time. So let's see. I'm going to create a circle and I'll give it a radius 30, and I want this circle to be tangent to this edge. So we'll take a reference here. We have this as a reference. We hide the background and we turn it into a reference curve and we make these two tangent. Okay. Now I only need half of this circle, so I will put another reference curve, or what I can do is I can put this reference curve here and I give a dimension of 30. It is bisecting this circle exactly from the center because radius of this circle is also 30. We will trim away what we don't need. Now this is our second profile. Okay, we got two profiles and now we need some boundary uh, for the extreme edges. So we can hide this sketch or we can keep it here as reference, and we need to create some planes. So I create a plane on this side, which is 30 millimeters. Yes, that's perfect. And we need another plane on the other side. Okay, this is perfect. Now we got our basic top profile. Uh, we can hide this, and yeah, this is going to be our top profile. We can take uh, we can create a point on this curve and we can connect it from here to that point. So let's do it. We can simply take a point and there must be okay, there is another way of doing it. I usually like to do it with the intersection. So intersection of a plane and a line, it is going to be a point. Yep, we got that point. And we will make one more point on this side. That is our point. And now we are going to connect this curve from here to that point. So this makes a basic top profile uh, for our mouse. And now we are going to create the side profile. So let's hide these planes. Now this is our base profile and we can hide it for now. And to create the top profile, we need this sketch 3, and we are going to create our side profile um, on this plane, center plane. Okay, so if I look at my mouse, I have a profile something like this, but it is really difficult to control this curve with these points. So, and it is not easy. It is not an easy task to, get a proper perfect profile using these curves because a slight deviation will, if I move it, you can see that here also it is moving. So we will not go with a spline. Instead, we will try something else. First of all, I need the top and the total length and the height. I just need a reference. So let's get it from this sketch. We project this and we project this. So this gives us a reference for the height and the length. Now we hide the background and this is what we got. Let's make it normal. And I want these two lines to be a reference curve. Okay, now let's try creating a profile. I need some reference blocks, so I will create some small blocks on both the ends. And I try to give some parameters. Let's say I want a profile to be uh, a curving. I want here what I am trying to do is I want to create a profile something like this, and from here it will be like this. So it will look like a mouse. This is what I'm imagining right now in my mind. So this is what my mouse will look like. So for that same reason, I'm creating these two reference blocks. So let's try it out. I'll put a line here and I'll put another line here. I'll give some angle to it. And I will use this one. I'll use this command, connected curves, and I will connect this point instead of point because there are too many curves here. Uh, Instead of choosing the point, what we can do is we can select the curve itself. So we select this curve and this curve, and we have some profile. So the profile looks good, but right now it is going all over our top limit. So it is exceeding the height. So we will try to reduce the height. And here I will try to make it 15. So this height looks good, but I want this bump to be more to the I want this bump to be a little more like this instead. So let's try it out. So how we can do it? We will play with these angles and I will make it say 20 degree. Okay, this is a little too much. I'll say 30, 35, 70. Okay, this looks okay, but still, yeah, we are little over the top, but a slight deviation is fine. We cannot make it perfect. Slight deviation is fine. If we want to reduce it, we can actually do it, but a slight deviation is okay. There is no issue. Okay, now it is like perfectly matching. Okay, now it is within the boundaries, and we got this profile. So I want I will be taking a reference of these two curves, and I will be using a 3D curve outside the sketch. So I see that one of my command is missing. So let me get it back. So I want these two curves to be solid. And let's try if with the help of these two curves we can create our profile. So we have our command somewhere. Okay, this one. We are going to use this command, which is connect curves. So here we have to choose one point. We choose this point, and we need to choose the curve, which is this one. And then we need to select the other point here and the curve. It is creating some issue, so I think we need to go a different way. So we choose this curve. It is the issue because we created both of these curves in within the same sketch. What we can do is we can copy this sketch and we can paste it, and in one sketch we will make this curve as a reference, and in the other sketch we will make this one as a reference. Okay, so let's do it, this sketch, and here we choose this point, automatically it is taking the other sketch. And yeah, you can choose curvature for better accuracy. Here the direction is reversed, so we need to change the direction. We can click on this arrow, or we can also click here to reverse the direction. And we can see that we have our desired curve profile, what we were expecting. We click OK. And now we can hide these two sketches. So we got our approximate profile, what we needed. This is the profile of my mouse at the center. So I also need profile. I need some similar profile on the each end, which for which purpose we created these two planes. So I want it to have slight deviation from what this profile is. Let's take help of a drawing tool. So when this is our center profile, I want something like this to be my another profile, which is on the extreme edge, extreme left and extreme right of the mouse. So we are again going to make use of these two sketches, but in a different way. What we can do is we can copy and paste it, and there is one more thing we can do. We can also, create a separate geometrical set and create a group of uh, how we created this curve. So we move all these things here, okay, and we can rename it saying it is the side top profile, and we create one more geometrical set. In this I'm just going to simply copy and paste these two sketches. After that I can just simply right click on this sketch. I can go to objects, and there is the option change sketch support. We click on this option, don't worry about it. So here it is taking reference of the center plane, which is the YZ plane. So instead of this, we will be choosing this plane. So you can see that whole sketch is moved to this plane now. Make sure that this option is selected, move geometry. We click OK. And we do the same with the other sketch. We right click on it and we go to change sketch support. And we choose this plane. We click OK. So this being the center profile of our mouse, let's see what we can do uh, on the extreme left and the extreme right profiles. I would say rename it, say extreme side profiles. Okay, so this is the default sketch, and let's see what we can do. We are going to unhide the background first, just to have a rough reference of what we have already created. Okay, and we'll change this. We will slightly increase the angle, say 80, and here also we are going to increase the angle, say this looks good, but this angle looks too much. We'll make it 75. Still, it looks like it is too much. We'll try to reduce this angle, say 50. Nope, I need to make it 60. A little more, 65. Yes, this looks like a good profile, a good side profile on the extreme left and extreme right. Slightly, if I can reduce this angle, not 70, say 72, and slightly a tighter profile on this side. A tighter profile, say 62. Okay, we will go ahead with this profile. Okay, so this angle is 72 and here it is 62. This one 72 and this one 62. This is in sketch 8, and here it is 72 and here it is 62. Okay, so let's create our curve. We will use again this command, connect curve, first one, the second point, and we have this profile. We choose, instead of tangency, we give curvature. Here also we give curvature, and yeah, again this is in the wrong direction. This looks cool. I want to slightly increase the tension on this side, so that this bump goes a little to the back in this direction. So let's say if I can increase the tension, and here I reduce it. Nope, this is not working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the angle. I'm going to slightly make a tighter angle on this side. Let's do it by going inside the sketch. Instead of 62, let's give 60, or let's give 58. Mm, yes, this looks a little better. Okay, all right. So we are going to offset this curve down by around 10 millimeters, because this is not our final profile. Let's offset it. So I'm going to use a command which is here. It is called parallel curve. I will select this curve and I want to offset it by 10, and it is asking for a plane, so I can give this plane. Let's see the preview. Yes, this is fine. Click OK. Now I actually don't need this. I'm going to hide them, and I need this curve to be a little longer because if I see in this view, it is really not, reaching the extreme edges. And again, this looks too much, so we will try to reduce the height as well. Let's first uh, extend the curve. So we will use this command. It is called extrapolate. We click on this dot and then we select the curve and we can increase the length. I don't want too much, just 10 millimeters. And same we are going to do on the other side. Not tangent, I want to be curvature. So I'll make sure that this is also a curvature. I don't want it to be a tangent. Okay, now this is too much, so we'll try to reduce it. We can go in the parameters of this command because this is a command that we use to offset this curve. We double click on it and we reduce it to 5. 5 is decent, but still I think it is too much. Let's say 3. 3 looks good. And I want this same curve to be on the other side. So I can mirror it. There are many ways. I can mirror it, I can project it onto this plane, or I can create a surface. So best way that I find is to mirror it. So we have these operations, and in this operation we have this one, which is called symmetry. We select this curve and take a reference plane, our center plane, and we have this curve on the other side. Okay, so once we are done with it, we will create our profile at the center. Let, let's extend this curve also a little. It will help us. So top profile, we were working on this top profile in this sketch. So we define this one and we extend it slightly, same by 10 millimeters, little less. Make sure it is curvature, click OK. And after that, now we will start creating our surfaces. So till now, what we were doing, we were only creating our wireframe. So this, whatever we have created till now, these curves, these 3 curves, then we have our sketches. This is our wireframe. So we will be taking help of this wireframe. We actually don't, we can hide this one. Okay. This is our complete wireframe, which will help us. I'll hide these sketches also. And the access system. So this is our wireframe. So we have created these curves now, and with the help of these curves, we are going to create our mouse. So we choose this command, multi-section surface, and we choose these 3 curves, first, second, and third. We make sure that these directions are in these arrows are in the same direction. We give a preview, and yes, it has created a surface. We click OK. Now at the front, we need to limit this edge, and this is our limit at the front. So first, let's make sure if this surface we are creating is in the right geometrical set. So this is top profile, this is extreme side, and here I will rename it to base profile. Okay, new geometrical set, say working geometry. And we will put all these geometrical sets. Mm, change geometrical set. But these itself are geometrical sets. So what I can do is I can simply drag and drop it. Okay, and this surface we need to move outside. I can insert a new geometrical set, say surfaces, and I'll put it inside in here. Okay, now we got this surface. Now we need our front boundary. These planes, I'm going to put them in extreme side profiles. Okay, make sure we define this geometrical set so that whatever next operation we do, it automatically goes inside this geometrical set. Now we use this command, which is extrude. Make sure the direction, it should be the Z axis, this one, Z. Okay, this is fine. We will just have a little more to the bottom side, little extra. This is good. And earlier we created an intersection using these curves, so we can click center graph, and these are the 2 points that we created earlier. And now we create our profile on the back side. So we do the same thing. We extrude this one all the way. Okay, and now we are going to trim this face from with these two surfaces. Not trim, we will use split. So there are two commands. One is split. So when we do a split, we will get this kind of result, and these two extreme surfaces, they are not part of it. But when we do a trim, it will split these surfaces and it will make it in a single surface. We should avoid using trim function as much as possible, and we should try doing um, things using split only. Okay, because this trim can create confusion in the end, and then we might need to again, segregate the surfaces or make them separate. Okay, so we are going to use a split function here. It's split this surface using the front one and the back one. We click OK. And now we can hide these two surfaces because we don't need them as of now. And we got this top profile. But here I don't like this one. It doesn't look smooth. It's a little wavy. It is like the curvature is not coming properly. See, it is like a little pointy. When I see this from this angle, it should be like a circular profile. I'll show you. Right now it is like totally like this. I don't want it. What I want is I want it to have a smooth, a circular profile like this. Okay. So what we are going to do, we have these extreme edges here. We are going to split this surface. Let's say we will create a line from this point to this point, a little extra on both sides, say 10 millimeters, and I pad it in Z direction. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this surface with the help of this one. Okay, I have it like this now, and let's make use of this command again, connect curve. We choose a point. Okay, it is not letting me choose, so what I can do is I can hide this command, this line I can hide. Let's see where it is. I right click on it and I do a center graph, and just a second. Yeah, it is this extrapolate. Okay, I'll hide this one and I'll hide this one as well, and I create this curve, this point, using this curve in this direction, and here also this point with this curve, and in the opposite direction. Yes, this is fine. So make sure it is not tangent, it is a curvature. Okay, we have a curvature now, and from back side, no, it still doesn't looks good. And let's see what was our boundary. This was our boundary, and we want it to be all the way to the end. So let's go to the top view, and we increase the tension, say 1.5, a little more. We are close. We will increase it more. Okay, this is a little too much. Nope, 6.5, 6.5. We are close. Let's say 7. So 1.7. Yeah, this is like perfect on the edge. No issues. Slight here, there. That is fine. Okay, now we have that smooth profile when we see from the top. Let's hide this base profile, and we hide the limits also. If we really want to make it inside, we can, have this to be 6.8. Okay, now it is on the edge, little bit more, say 6.7. Okay, now it is inside the boundary. Okay, now from top also it is like a proper smooth circular profile, and when we see it from the back side, here also it is like a proper smooth circular profile. So this is how we created this face, and now we are going to create a surface between this and this curve. So we choose multi-section, and we select this edge. We make sure the direction is in that side, and we select another edge here. Make sure the direction is like this, and we check whether it is going to create our desired surface. One more thing, we should give tangency of this curve with this surface. We select here and we give a tangency. Okay, sorry, it is taking with this one. Let's do it again. Okay. This curve, with this surface as tangent, and then add this one, and let's see what happens. Yes, this is perfect. This is what we need, and we click OK. Now it can be seen that we are getting there. We almost have the top form of our mouse, and we just need to create the base, the front, the sides, and the back of this mouse. Let's see how we can do it. Okay. Okay, let's create the front and the back surfaces. So to create the front surface, we will use this sweep command. We will use this one, second one, because we need a line form along this curve. So we choose this line form, and instead of two limits, we are going to choose with draft direction. Here we will choose the curvature, which is this one, and then the draft direction, which is the Z direction. And we'll give it some angle, say 20 degrees. And we can see that it is showing four options here. So we will choose this one, and we try to get a preview. Uh, this looks good. This is fine. We click OK, and we do the same for the back side. This is the profile, and we give the direction, which is Z. And again, we want this surface in that direction. Let's see, try creating this surface. This is good. 20 degrees, it's fine. If we click OK, but we have a problem. I don't want this curve to be, going inside like this. Oh, this that doesn't looks good. This curve going inside. So next, we need to extend this surface a little more to the down, so that it intersects with the base plane. Remember, this curve, it is on the base plane. So let's increase the length. Okay, now it is intersecting, and what we can do is we can split the bottom with this plane. We split this surface with the base plane. Click OK. We do the same for this surface. Okay, it looks like a good profile, but this surface here, it is curvating. Its curvature, it is curved more to the inside, and I really don't want it. So let's see what we can do in this case. We'll try to reduce the surface. We will try to move it little to the back. We have our extrude, this one, and we can offset it. Say 10 millimeters of this face is fine. No, let's see if there is any other option we have. Okay, we create this face using a multi-section again. We choose this curve and we choose this curve and we click preview. No, this is not what I need. Let's see if we have something in sweep. With reference curve. So we choose this and we have our reference curve, this one. I don't know why it is coming like that. And I don't want to give any angle to it. Yes, this is fine. And we give it, make it in. Okay, this is not working. So what we are going to do is we will let's bring our base profile again. Okay, we want this to be more to the outside. So let's see how we can do. Let's connect this curve and this curve. I guess we did that already. Yes, we have these curves. But here it is not intersecting. Okay, so let's, actually I need the reference of this curve on uh, this line. So what we can do is we can extrude it, or I can project it. Let's extrude it. That sounds better. We try to find the surface before we split it. So we right click, and we see the parent children of this surface. So we have this sweep, and we will extrude this edge all the way to the back so that I get a reference here. Um, Extrude this one. Direction is saying this, so I'm going to do it all the way in that direction, and I'll get a reference here by intersecting this curve and this surface. Click OK. So this is the point reference that I have, and I really don't need the base profile now. And we don't need this surface, and I can directly connect that edge with this point. Click OK, and we are going to make a symmetry of this curve along this plane. Okay, we have it on the other side also. Now we need to create our base profile. So let's take a reference at the center. We take an intersection of center plane and this surface. So we got our reference here, and now we can create a curve. And after creating the curve, we can create surfaces in this area. So let's try to do a multi-section first between these two curves, considering this as a reference, this one and this one. Our reference curve is this. So let's try to get a preview. Yes, this is exactly what we need. We click OK. And here also we will create this surface. Now make sure we have the right direction. And we give a guide, this one. Click OK. Okay, we got these surfaces on both the sides. And now we need to close this profile from the back side. So we can actually hide it, we don't need it. We just need this curve now. So to do it, we again do a multi-section. And in this multi-section, we select this edge and we give a reference as a tangent continuity from this surface. We do the same for this face, but before that we need to, move our curved surface through this line because it is the rearmost limit of our mouse. So if we select this line, make sure that we have the right direction because this is pointing downward. So this should also point downward. And then we select this edge pointing downward and we give a reference for this surface. And now try getting a preview. This looks good. We can give one guide so that this edge, it actually follows this curve. So let's do that. Let's make it follow this edge and we give a preview. Okay, this looks a little bulgy and I'm not satisfied. Okay, we have this surface, but this looks bulgy. This curvature is not fine. Let's try splitting the base. Let's try splitting it with the surface and we see if we get a better result. I don't like it because it looks like a squarish profile and I want it to be a little more smooth. So let's see how we can do it. So I remember that I gave an angle of 20 degrees to this edge and let's hide this surface and I'll try to, you know, create a line with 20 degrees on this angle. So point and direction. This point, the direction will be this one, reverse direction, a little extra. 30 millimeters, yeah, that is fine. And now I'm going to split this surface and this surface with this extrude in X direction. We click OK. So let's split this and we split this one also. And let's try to create that profile one more time. Make sure we have the right directions. And this sweep, we give a preview. Click OK and we split this. Okay, yeah, this looks way better and I really like it. So we have created the overall profile of the mouse and now we just need to close it from the bottom. So now we can simply create a big surface. Say, We did this extrude earlier. Let's go to the sketch that we used. Okay, this is a sketch that we used. So now just extrude this sketch all the way to the back. Not in that direction. We changed the direction, say in this direction, and little extra. And yeah, this will create our base. So we split this surface first. So we use the split command and we select all these faces. Ignore the errors. Okay, so we have this. Now I don't want all these curves, so I can simply turn on my selection filter. Yeah, okay, user selection filter is somewhere turned on. I'm not able to see it. Yeah, here it is, user selection filter. So I don't want any curves. So I select all of them, right click and hide them. I don't want any points, so I select them, I hide them. I don't want these planes. I don't want anything. So this is what our profile of mouse looks like. And now we can create our final join. We use this join command. We select any surface, we right click on it, and then we have this option of distance propagation. We should not touch this merging distance and angular threshold because it might give bad result or poor surfaces. So we try to keep it minimum. Click OK. So you can see that we have a smooth profile of our mouse now. And now we are going to turn this mouse into a solid. So we insert a body, we define it, and after defining we have this part command, close surface. We select it and we choose this join and we click OK, and we can hide it now. We can put this surface in the working geometry. Now we have our body. So now we can do some operations. We should always put this close body in another part, another part body. So we can right click on it. We go to objects and we can select this one, insert in new. So now it is coming here as an assemble, and our actual closed body is in here. So now we can perform some operations on it. Say I want to give some fillets, so I define it here, and I give this fillet. 5 is good. And here, because this curvature along the edge is changing, suppose if we give a normal fillet of 5, so you can see here it is taking too much of surface. Let's make a little bit bigger to make things a little better. We try a bigger value. So I'll choose 10 millimeters and I give preview. So here we can see that it is taking a bigger chunk of material out. Instead, in these areas, it is taking less chunk of surface. So what we can do is we can, instead of going with the normal fillet, there is a one more command in here which is called chordal fillet. So what it will do is we will give a command for the chord, and it will try to have that same chord length and the fillet all around this edge. So we select this edge and we give the chord length, say 3 millimeters, and we click OK. So when you this is the edge of the fillet only. Let's change the view. Okay, so in this view we can see that this is the fillet. So when we try to measure the chord length here, See, the radius is not actually 3, but the length of this chord, mm, if we have something to measure it, let's see. Nope, it is showing the radius. Let's customize, and here I guess we should have something saying, yeah, parameter, arc length. We apply this, we click OK. So now we see that it is showing the arc length which is 3.276. Okay, here we have provided 3. I don't know why it is different, but you can see that it is a constant fillet all around this body. So that is what chordal fillet, we call it chordal fillet. So this is what chordal fillet do. So this is our mouse figure. Now we can add a wheel or something. Say we have this axis and we insert another body. We define this body. When it is underlined, this means that this body is defined, and we create a sketch in it, and we create the wheel. No, it looks too small. We make it, this is like fine, and we give some a constraint from this face, so we can use this command here, which is 3D intersection element. So with the help of this command, we will get an intersection of this top face. So we select this, we select this one, and now we have an intersection. We need it like a reference only, and now we can offset it is using this offset curve command. Say we want this offset to be 5 millimeters, and then we can make this uh, edge tangent to this curve. Okay, so this is 5 millimeters. The scroll button, it is 5 millimeters outside the surface. So let's see it in the sketch plane. It looks little too much, so we can reduce the height, say 3 millimeters. Yeah, this looks good, perfect. Let's see if we can reduce the radius, and using this we can limit the you know distance, and also it is perfectly constrained now. Okay, so whatever dimension we give, it is going to move along this curve. Say I give here 50, it is going to move along that curve, and it is going to maintain a 3 millimeter protrusion outside this face. So we are going to make it 24, and now we are going to provide thickness to it. So we use this pad command. We want it to have like small thickness only, and we want it to have a mirrored extent. So this is what it looks like now. Click OK, and let's make a cutout for this wheel. We right click on this body, we copy it, and we right click here on the part, we do a paste special. As a result, with link, we click OK, and to this solid body, let's just hide this one, and to this solid body we are going to give a little thickness. So here we give 1 millimeter, and let's make it constant all around. So we give on the side faces also 1 millimeter, and we remove this body from our main body. We define the main body and we remove this. Okay, and okay, it looks little too much. So let's reduce it. Instead of 1, let's say we give 1.5, and we define our scroll wheel and we give some fillets to it. 0.5. Okay, now you can see this is our scroll button, and we can keep giving more details to it, but the surfacing part, uh, doing this much with the model, it is enough to understand. And this is what our mouse looks like. I would suggest you guys try doing this on your own, because it is some very simple and basic commands. And don't worry about these palettes, because what I have done is I have customized part workbench to have surface commands. You guys can switch between workbenches, or you can also customize your workbench to have surface commands in part workbench. And you try doing this exercise with yourself. You can directly refer the dimensions what I provided. So if you're able to do it on your own without looking at this video, that means your basics for surfacing are clear and we can move forward. Thank you.